Bestie, it's Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. Today we are going to do 25 of the easiest crafts ever using Dollar Tree items. Easiest Dollar Tree glass hack ever. I've got this really cool kind of prismatic little glass, and I love that prismatic look to it. I'm going to take my hot glue, and literally this is so easy, and I'm just going to start going side to side and just leaving hot glue on the glass. So I'm just going to carefully make sure that I don't get lumpy too much, but just kind of lightly go back and forth. I can always go over it again if it's not enough, and just continue doing this around the whole thing. You see what I'm doing there? And there are some gaps, and I will go back and fill those. I just wanted to make sure that I was getting it on there the way that I wanted. And then I'm just going to keep going over and over, and I'll turn it around as I go. And then I can, like I said, go back and fill in as I need to. And you can just watch what I'm doing here. Now you want to make sure you have plenty of glue. You don't really want to have to stop if you can help it. So I used a long glue stick on this one. That way I could just keep going the whole time. I'm going to do the rest of it now off camera. There it is. Look how cool that looks. I was going to paint it with something like gold or silver, and then I looked, because it has that prismatic effect, I thought, no, don't do that. Just leave it as it is. So I added some little blue rocks because that's what I had on hand. You could use anything you want in there. And then I've got a cute little battery operated candle that literally kind of flickers, and so it looks like it's a real candle. And I just stuck it in there, and that was it. I mean, there's so many different things you could do with this. Once you've got your little, I'm calling it a little mini vase now, you could do whatever you wanted with it. I just think it turned out beautiful, and it was so easy. You've got to try this. Floating shelf craft. I'm going to take one of the floating shelves, a little bit of floral foam, and some beautiful greenery and flower picks. Some are from Walmart and some are from, actually these are all from the Dollar Tree, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to start pulling some of the flowers off the picks eventually, but first what I'm going to do is cut a piece of the floral foam. I want like a, kind of like a moon shaped, if you will. That's what I think will work the best. So I've cut off a piece, but it's still a little big, so I am going to trim it down just a bit because we don't need a ton of it, just enough to put the florals and greenery in. Now that I've got the piece that I want, I'm going to hot glue it right onto the top of the floating shelf, and I'm going to put the curved part towards the front. Now I'm going to trim a bunch of pieces off the picks, and I'm going to start placing them right inside of this floral foam. I'll just stick them in, kind of the greenery all the way around. I want to make sure that kind of covers most of it, and then I'm going to use the florals more to fill in some of the gaps, and I think that'll be just a beautiful mixture. So there you see I've got all of the greenery in. Now I am going to hot glue down the ones in the back, because if this is hanging on the wall, I don't want those pieces sticking towards the wall. So now I'm going to take the floral pieces, and I'm going to do a similar thing where I just stick them in and try to fill in the gaps. And I want this to be a little higher than the others, so this gives it just a little bit more height, makes it look more interesting, I think. Isn't that pretty? Now I still need to fill in some more because you can still see the white. So I'm going to get another kind of greenery that I also got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to mix those in. And the goal here is to cover up the floral foam. Now I think using green floral foam would have been a great idea because you wouldn't even see it, but I had white, and so you can still make it work. And you can also cover it with moss if you want. I had enough greenery that I knew I could do it, and I wanted it very full and lush. And I think this piece is just gorgeous. It looks so nice, and just what a nice thing to have floating on the wall as a decor piece. I think this craft is gorgeous. I'm going to fluff the greenery just to kind of make sure it's distributed the way I want and aren't just random pieces sticking up. And that's the fun part of doing, floral arrangements. You can make them look any way that you want. And I think this one just came out stunning. You'll have to let me know what you think. This is so easy. It is using the least amount of clothespins, just one. And then I've got this cute little cutting board that I got at Hobby Lobby and some florals that I got from the Dollar Tree. And this is a picture of our late dog, Sophie, who died a little over a year ago. We still miss her so much, and we have some pictures of her. So I thought, what a good way to display them. I'm going to cut it out like fussy cut. You know, it's moving the picture more than the scissors is what makes that come out really well. I'm literally going to take one clothespin. I'm going to hot glue the back side of it directly to kind of like the handle of the cutting board. I'm going to put Sophie's little picture. It almost gives it a 3D look like this. And I left a little bit of the outline around her. Then I'm going to take little pieces from this Dollar Tree pick and just put a couple of the leaves and flowers. And I'm going to take some twine. I'm just going to tie around the center and attach them so that they are nice and secure. Plus it gives me something very nice to attach to the cutting board. I like to do that. I mean, you can glue those greenery pieces right on if you want. I just like to do it. It's easier than if you decide to change it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there, wait till it dries. And then what I'm going to do is I've got this ribbon. I think I got it at Walmart. It's a long time ago. And it's got cute little paw prints. I'm going to make a little awareness bow, bring down the middle. I'm going to put a touch of hot glue in there just to hold it still after I trim off, the excess there. I'm just going to make sure that it stays while I wrap twine around it. Now you could just go directly to the twine and wrap it around it. I seem to lose the shape of my bow when I do that. So that's why I use a drop of hot glue. So I'm going to start with the twine on the back with a little bit of hot glue and then just start wrapping it around till I get the center that I want, the thickness that I think is nice. Once I do that, I'll trim that and hot glue it to the back again. And now I've got this beautiful bow with that twine right as the center. I'm going to hot glue it directly to the center of my little pick arrangement. And then I'm just going to cut a little angle on each side. I'm not going to dovetail these. It's kind of a small ribbon. And that's it for that one. Now I'm going to take another little piece of that ribbon and I'm going to put it directly over the top of the clothespin and then trim off the excess at the end. And it's so cute. I love it. I'm going to put another piece of twine together through the hole coming from the back and just do kind of a slip knot right through it and then tie a knot at the top. I'll trim away anything that's not even. Honestly, it's so easy. I was going to stop here and then I thought, you know what? I'd love to put her name on it and I didn't want to use any of the stickers that I had. So I carefully, in cursive, wrote her name, Sophie. And now I'm going to go over it with one of the Dollar Tree little fine tip markers. And I'll go over it a few times and start thickening up the letters a little bit just to make them look a little bit fancier than my handwriting. And I just think it came out so pretty. And we'll always see our little Sophie, who we miss so much, when we have this up. Anyway, I hope this will be inspiring to you. You can put a dog, a child, whatever you want. I think it would be so fun to do. Dollar Tree sock hack. Honestly, this is about the easiest one. I got these cute striped socks, and then I had this little tin planter from IKEA, but they sell them at Dollar Tree and Walmart too. What I'm going to do here is just cut a section that fits around the center part of this planter. So I'm cutting off the toes, I'm cutting off the heels, and I had just kind of held it up to the planter to see where I needed to cut. Honestly, this is ridiculously easy, which makes it so awesome. So now I've got my piece. I'm just going to kind of trim up any excess, and I'm literally going to stretch it around the little planter and set it around the middle. It's almost like, those little cozies that you can get when you get coffee or whatever. It's like a little planter cozy, but it's so cute. And look at that. It just stretches right over. And then I'll just kind of flatten the edges because they got a little curly and just kind of, push them down. Actually, you don't even have to glue this on because it just stays right there. Now for fun, I've got these beautiful flowers I found at Walmart. They've really got some beautiful florals there. And I'm literally just going to set them in. I'm not even going to put foam or anything in there because it's just going to cover them up. I'm using quite a few of them. And I think this is stunning. I mean, these flowers are beautiful. And then the cute little cozy around the planter. You know what? It just doesn't get any easier than this. I mean, no sewing, no gluing, no painting. This is my kind of a DIY. You'll have to let me know what you think of this one. I absolutely love it, and I love how easy and fast it was to make. Cute little green candles at the Dollar Tree, and they're just so simple, but all I saw was a pumpkin. So I removed the tag, and the first color I'm using is the pumpkin color by Waverly of chalk paint, and I'm going to give it 2 really good coats all the way around the very top and just a teeny bit inside the rim. Because it's a candle, I didn't want to put the paint any further inside, and I love this color so much, and this really does look like a pumpkin. Now I'm going to take the white wax by Waverly, and I'm going to use a makeup sponge, rub it on, and then a baby wipe and wipe it off. and it just gives it such a nice soft look. Then I'm going to take the Antique Wax by Waverly, and I'm going to generously put that on, and again use a baby wipe and wipe that off. And now I'm creating a very antique kind of a look for this little pumpkin candle. I love the way it looks. It's so cute. Now for my second one, I'm going to use the Agave color. Those are the colors that are kind of my main accent colors for fall, which is the kind of a blue or agave with the pumpkin color. I love those two colors together. I'm going to do the exact same process here. I'm going to give it 2 generous coats. Then I'm going to use the white wax, put it on and wipe it off with a baby wipe. And then I'm also going to use the Antique Wax, put it on and then wipe it off with a baby wipe. And you guys, I love the way this turns out. This is so simple. You could do this with any ceramic piece. So I hope you do get to try it because I love the way it turns out. You'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments. Fall with the fall colors combined. I ordered these cute little rolling pins off of Amazon. They are so adorable. And then I had this buffalo check tissue paper that I think I got at the Dollar Tree a while ago. And if it wasn't the Dollar Tree, I think it was Michael's. And I'm going to use this white paint by Folk Art, and I'm just going to paint that one kind of flat section that goes around the rolling pin. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want it to be a lighter color under the tissue paper. Otherwise it'll look like the wood grain, it'll be darker. And so then I'm going to cut out a piece of the tissue paper, and I'm going to kind of make it more precise by putting it on my little cutting mat and then measuring. And then after I get that all measured and figured out, I'm going to Mod Podge it directly onto the little rolling pin. I'm just being really careful to rub it down so I won't have any little wrinkles or bubbles. And because it's such a small surface, it's pretty easy to do that. And once I get the whole thing attached and I trim off the excess at the end when it comes together, I'm also going to add a layer of Mod Podge over the entire thing just to seal the whole thing in and make sure that it stays very nicely attached to this adorable little rolling pin. To give the two ends a little more of a finished look, I'm going to wrap some very thin jute cord just around where the tissue paper meets the wood on each side, and I think that just kind of finishes off that part of it, and I really like the way that turned out. I have these really cute die cut leaves that I got at Hobby Lobby on 40% off clearance, and I'm just going to add 3 of them across the middle with hot glue, and that is it. So simple and so cute. Project, I'm going to take it's a cutting board that I got at TJ Maxx for only $4.99. I thought it was a great deal. It's very thick and really good quality. I'm going to take these smaller little decals of these succulents, and I thought this would be so pretty. I've got this gorgeous ribbon from the Dollar Tree, a lace one and kind of a burlap one, and I did put the Mod Podge over first. And what I'm going to do is cut out a couple of pieces of the lace and one piece of the burlap, and I'm going to layer them on the top part of the cutting board. So I'll just start on the back and hot glue the first piece of the lace on, and then I will put the second one on the exact same way, and I made sure that the design was going the direction that I wanted of the lace ribbon. Now I'm going to take the burlap ribbon and I'm just going to put that across the middle, and I thought that was a beautiful look to have the lace on the top and the bottom. And this is kind of like a farmhouse boho looking piece. So I thought that would be really cute. It's definitely very trendy, and I thought it would go with a lot of different things. Now, you know I love cutting boards, so of course one more for my collection is certainly not going to hurt. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a different pattern on the bottom. I'm going to start with the lace ribbon, and I'm just going to put that one around the very bottom of this cutting board. The cutting board kind of has a shape like a bottle, so I thought this kind of worked to put one around what would be kind of the neck of the bottle and then the very bottom. I'm just going to use hot glue for all this. You won't see it, and it's a quick, easy way to attach this. This is just for decor, so it's not going to get used in the way that a cutting board would. It's just going to be sitting out, and this is going to hold just fine. Now I'm going to take the burlap ribbon and just put it across the top of that, and that's it. I'm going to take some of this rope I got from Walmart, and I'm just going to kind of make the end a little pointy with some hot glue and put it through the hole at the top, and then just tie a knot. It doesn't really need a handle, but I kind of like the look of that, so that's why I went ahead and I did it anyway. I also think the hole looks funny just sitting there all by itself. This was such an easy project. It was so fun, and I love the way it looks. It's so cute. It's going to be a perfect addition to my cutting board collection. You'll have to tell me, what do you think? Really long black pumpkin sign from the Dollar Tree. Now I cut it in half and I made sure they were both the same exact length. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint it in the plaster color chalk paint by Waverly, and I end up giving it 2 coats. And I'm not going to do the back side, just the front, and then on the other one I'm just doing the back side, but I am going to do around the edges on both pieces. Next, I need to trace out that little pumpkin because I want to put a piece of scrapbook paper there, which I have right there. I'm going to use that liquid adhesive, and I'm going to just attach it right to that inside part. And then I'm going to put my top piece back on, and I have a little buffalo plaid pumpkin sticker, and I'm going to attach that right there. And then I'm going to hot glue the top piece to the bottom piece. And now I've got a nice thick sign. And I'm going to use my Agave chalk paint by Waverly to dry brush right over the surface and then heavily around the edges. So dry brushing, just put a little on my brush, wipe most of it off, and then drag it across the surface. I accidentally glued the 2 pieces together before I put another hole through. So I used my little pokey tool from the Dollar Tree, and I was able to get a hole going through the other side and put the hanger back on. And now I'm using some Dollar Tree stickers, and I'm going to spell out hello, and then another set of stickers to say pumpkin. And then I'm going to cover this sign with Mod Podge, and that's it. And it's so simple, but it's so cute. And I love the agave because I'm using the pumpkin color in the agave in my decor, and I'm just really loving the combination. You'll have to let me know what you think and what colors are you decorating in if you are decorating for the autumn or fall, however you describe it. I'm just curious to know what people are using this year. There's just so many options. Or do you just go traditional, which I love as well? Decal project. I've got this beautiful decal that says let go and let God. I've got a wooden piece from the Dollar Tree and my Rust-Oleum chalked linen white paint. I'm going to sand all around this entire piece. They're a little rough. I'm going to go ahead and just paint the front and the edges in the white paint. And I do 2 coats. Now I'm going to make a hanger using the metal part from a clothespin and a little piece of twine. Just like you've seen me do before, I'm going to put it through that coily part and hot glue it down, and add a piece of masking tape at the end for additional security. It just works really well to do this. Now I'm going to take the decal. It's a little large for this piece, so I'm going to cut 3 pieces. I'm going to cut the and the let go and the let God out separately. That way I can place them exactly where I want them. So we'll start with the and because it's the middle part, and this will help me balance it. Just going to rub that on there, and then I'll go with the let go part. I love this saying so much because it's so true. We try to be God and hold on to everything when He's there the whole time, ready to just be there for us. So this is a good reminder, a really good reminder. flowers are really cute, so I thought I'd just kind of cut some of them out individually and just place them on the bottom, make a little pattern out of it. I couldn't do the whole thing. They're much too large. But if I just cut some little ones, I thought that would be really pretty. So I'll just go ahead and do that and place them on there.
I am on my way again. Can't believe it's been a year.
And there it is. I'm going to cover it with Mod Podge. And then I felt like it needed something. So I'm going to put a pretty little pink flower, or it's almost peach, at the very top and some greenery around it. The greenery is from Amazon, the flowers from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to snip off the ends and hot glue 2 pieces to each side. And that should do it. I think that's just enough to make it spring and festive and pretty, but the meaning of the sign is the part that really matters the most to me. Like I said, such a great reminder.
Riding through the winter night, thinking of my only wish. I don't need a perfect snowman.
I hope you like this one. It's definitely a favorite of mine. It was so easy to do, and I think it's meaningful too. It would also make a great gift. What do you think about this one? Glass trivet hack. I've got a square glass trivet and a placemat. Now, I'm going to take the legs off using my little spatula, or the feet off using my little spatula. And then I'm going to clean it off with some Goo Gone and alcohol to get rid of the gooiness. Now I'm going to figure out where on this placemat I want to cut. So I found one that I thought fit on the glass nicely. I'm just going to trace around it. Now I didn't use a pencil on this one because it just didn't show up very well. So I used a dark marker. Now I'm going to cut out the square. And on this one, because it's a solid piece, it doesn't like bend, I'm just going to cover the whole back of that trivet with the Mod Podge. I don't need to do this one in sections because I can't really fold it up anyway. Now I'm going to face down, place that piece of the placemat and use my brayer to help it make best contact. And the Mod Podge is still drying, so it's a little blurry, but there it is. And now I'm going to go around the edges and trim off the excess with my scissors. We're going to put the feet back on using my Fix-All glue adhesive. And I did get that at Dollar Tree, by the way, in case you're wondering. This is probably the easiest of all these projects today because this is such an easy piece to attach. And there's so many beautiful placemats out there. This would be fun to do. This is going to sit on our coffee bar so I can just put things on it. I love this one. You're going to have to let me know what you think. And would you try doing this with a placemat? Dollar Tree contact paper hack. I've got the wood looking paper, and then I've got this canister that used to have tea in it. And I'm going to use this off-white paint. It's from Amy Howard at Home. And I'm just going to paint right over it. It had like kind of a fabric covering on the top. So it was very easy to paint over. I just did 2 coats and that's it. Now I'm going to measure about how long I need the contact paper to be. And then I'll be able to cut it out and make sure that it wraps all the way around. So now I'm just going to start with the end and try to place it so that when it wraps around, it stays even to the bottom. I'm going to use the the top as my guide. We'll wrap it all the way around carefully, slowly, while pushing down to get rid of any bubbles. And then I will trim off the excess. Now I've left a little excess on the top and the bottom just because I wanted to make sure it was looking really nice. And I went around with the blade and it's super, just by pushing against the end there, it just goes right off the edge. And then I can clean it up even more once I get that extra piece off. And you'll see there's just like a little bit left, but I go around again and get rid of all of that. Like, see how I'm pushing it the other direction now? It just cut, especially if your blade is sharp, it will cut very easily. Now I'm doing the top. Now, one thing I forgot to take into account is that by putting the contact paper all the way up to the top, the lid might not go on. So I ended up having to cut that off, but there was an indentation there, which made it very easy to go around and score it with the blade. And then it just ripped right off when I pulled from the end. And now the top was able to be closed. So just a note, if you're going to put on something that has a top that goes over the outside, you won't want to put the contact paper there because now it just slides on very easily. I'm going to cover that paint in Mod Podge just to be on the safe side since it would be handled quite a bit. And I love the look of this. Even though it's faux wood, it just looks pretty sitting on a shelf and it's functional, so I could still store things in it if I want to. And then I'll just wipe off any of the excess Mod Podge that got around the edges there. This was very easy and I think it turned out really pretty. You can really, upgrade a piece by doing this. So I thought it was really fun and easy. You'll have to let me know if this is something you might like to try. Cloche hack. I'm going to take a cloche, some cork adhesive board. I've got this cute little teapot set. It's just like a miniature. It's so adorable. And then I'm also going to use a sticker from the Dollar Tree. They have some beautiful stickers. I'm going to trace out the circle of this on the back of the adhesive of the cork board and cut that out. It's going to end up being a little too big, so I will trim around it with my X-Acto knife. Now I'm just going to remove the backing of that adhesive and put it on the inside. And like I said, I will trim off the excess. Now I'm going to take my little teapot and I'm going to hot glue it directly to the cork. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the lid on. If I ever want to change my mind about this, the glue comes right off with a little heat, so I'm not worried about it. And then I'm going to glue on this cute little cup. I did reposition them off camera because I forgot that I had to put the lid back on and it was sticking over. So when you see this in a moment, it's already moved over. And now I'm just going to put the top on and see how that's going to fit. And I'm going to put one of those stickers right on the inside of the cloche. And I just thought that would look so pretty. I love this little tea stuff. A friend of mine gave it to me. And then I've got a tea bag here. I'm just going to cut the tea bag cover into a smaller piece to make like a little mini looking tea bag and glue it together and then glue it inside of the cloche. So I want it to look like it's a teapot, a teacup, and a little tea bag. I love to drink tea. I don't know about you guys, but I really do. And so I thought this would be such a cute decor to put around my coffee bar because we have a tea station and a coffee station. So let me know in the comments, are you a coffee drinker, a tea drinker, or both? Now, I love coffee, but I drink tea because I just feel like it agrees with me better. Coffee, I love it, but it just doesn't agree with me. All right, so there's my little tea bag. I'm just going to glue that down. And this project was so easy. There's not much more to it because the whole thing is the tea theme. So I didn't really need to do much more. Talk about an easy project. So we're going to put the lid on and that's it. I love this one. I absolutely love this one. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think it's so cute. And if you don't have it, I bet you could find those kind of little tea things at a thrift store.
Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul.
This Dollar Tree round foam wreath hack, I'm going to use just part of it. It's actually left over from the previous one that I did. I'm going to make a hole on each side, just using my little Cricut pokey tool. You can use anything, a screwdriver, whatever you want to stick those holes. And I'm going to take some twine, or actually kind of like small rope, and I'm going to stab it in there with hot glue with my pokey tool. I want to get it in pretty good because I want this to be the hanger and I want it to be solid. I add some more glue in the hole just to really seal it in there. Now I'm going to put Aleene's tacky glue. I like tacky glue for this because hot glue, you can't touch it when you're putting on moss. I've got reindeer moss. I did get the moss, I believe, at Walmart. You can also get them at Dollar Tree and Amazon and all these places. So I want to be able to just push it on and make sure it's attached. There it is, the whole thing. So that's why I don't use hot glue for this. So now the whole thing is covered. I think that looks so cool. Obviously, we're not going to leave it like this. I'm going to be getting some beautiful flowers that I found at Dollar Tree. I couldn't believe they had these gorgeous roses. I don't remember ever seeing roses that look this pretty at Dollar Tree, so I grabbed a bunch. And I'm just going to pull them off the pick and hot glue them right into this little wreath form that I cut. And then I'm going to add these little white flowers that you see on the side above and below. And it almost has like kind of a bouquet look, but it's a little hanging piece. And it's just a little semicircle, not even a half circle. I just thought it was really pretty and unique. Have you ever done anything this particular shape? And I would just continue adding all of the white flowers. And I did decide to put them at the top, not just the bottom. I thought it looked even better. I think it's stunning. I love it. You could attach this to something else, hang it below it. You know, by itself, it's good. You'll have to let me know what you think. It was a little bit different, but very easy to make. Scarf hack. I've got this cute little lemon themed scarf. Now my mom is always complaining that she gets a draft under her door. So I thought I've got a pool noodle and I cut a piece of it that would fit the size of a, front door. And all I'm going to do is get rid of that tag, and then I'm going to lay out the scarf. It was the perfect length. And then I'm just going to start hot gluing it. Now, yeah, it does melt the pool noodle, but no one's going to see that, so it just doesn't matter. And it was a really nice way to attach this quickly. You can use regular glue too, of course. I didn't mind that you could see the pool noodle through it because the lemons were still very visible. So I glued it all the way across, rolled it up, and then glued that remaining edge all the way up to the top around the entire thing. And I did make sure it was sitting even on the pool noodle, so I had the same amount on each end left over. Now this is longer than what my camera shows, so I kind of move it back and forth to show you because I can't show you the whole thing in one shot, but I think you get the idea. There it is, and you can see I've got that remaining on the end. Now when that glue dries, you won't see those little spots. I'm just going to tie a knot or two on each side just to kind of seal it in there. And then I trim that so that it almost looks like a piece of candy rolled up, like a Tootsie Roll type of a packaging. Once I get on there, trim the ends, it's done. So if you need a quick door, like a draft blocker, this is a great way to do it. It's light. It weighs nothing. So if you need to store it or pick it up and lean it in the corner, falls down, it won't make a loud noise or hurt anything. Anyway, my mom was thrilled. She also has other lemon things in her kitchen. So this just worked out perfect. It was just kind of a last minute thing that I thought of. Let me know what you would do for a door draft. I know you can stuff fabric and do it like that. But I thought, you know what, this worked perfect. And it actually did get in there in that right spot and it stayed really nicely. She was thrilled and solved the problem. Can't complain about that. It's in front of a closet door in my house, so it's a little larger than it should be. But I just wanted to show you really quick what it looked like. Please ignore my baseboards. I do need to clean those. Cloche DIY. I've got a cloche. I've got this adorable lantern that has a light in it. And then I've also got some paint. We're going to use this kind of brushed gold. It's going to look just like the color of the lantern. So that's why I wanted that one. And so what I'm going to do is take the base and I'm actually just going to paint around the base. Well, first I'm going to sand it because I want the paint to stick. And I'm not sure with that plastic if it would otherwise. So I'll sand it, wipe off the dust, and then I'm going to paint it with that brushed gold, like metallic paint. And it really, with the black underneath, if you kind of do it in a streaky way without a full coverage, then it actually does look like that lantern. You'll see in a minute here. All right, now that that's dried, I'm going to take my little lantern. See how much it looks like the color? And we're just going to place it in there. We're not going to glue it because we need to be able to get to the light switch. I'm going to take this greenery that I get from Amazon and I'm just going to put it like around the kind of the top of the roof of that lantern. We're just going to hot glue it on because I wanted some greenery in here. And it only took a few pieces to go around the whole thing. And there it is with all the greenery on it. And what I ended up doing was putting in, I have some fairy lights that I get from Amazon, and I ended up stringing them through the inside of the lantern because my little light went out and I didn't have the right kind of battery. So it actually looks better than the light that was there. So when I did that, I'll have a picture here showing you what it looks like. So here it is without the light, just beautiful. It looks fine. And then in a moment here, you're going to see with the fairy lights on the inside. And now I think it's stunning. So you'll have to let me know what you think. I think putting the fairy lights in there was just the best thing to do. Super fast and easy Dollar Tree magnet hack. I've got this adorable magnet that says something like weird is the effect of being awesome. I love that. And I have this gorgeous kind of bronze pencil or pen holder that they had there too. So I'm going to simply take the magnet out and I'm going to glue it to the front of this pencil holder. I mean, talk about easy. So I'm just going to put the glue on the pieces that stick out the most that will actually be touching the back of the magnet. So I did put quite a bit of glue there, and then I held it down till the glue dried. Then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to add more glue on the inside just to secure it. You're never going to see that, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to go anywhere. Now all I have to do is add my pen. So I added my markers in here. I thought that would be fun because it's colorful, and I'll have this on my desk, and I love it. I think it's so cute, and talk about a quick and easy thing to do. What do you think? Use the large hoop of the two, and I'm going to use a bunch of these little pumpkins. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby last year on clearance. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to put my hanger on now so I don't forget later. I'm just going to cut a small piece of rope and I'm just going to hot glue it to the back. I'm not going to make a large hanger on this one, just enough to hang it with a nail. Then I'm going to use a little masking tape and put a piece on each end with some hot glue to make sure that the little ends of the rope don't fray. Now I'm going to take a little utility knife and I'm going to cut a groove in the back of the pumpkin, and you'll see I'm just going to go 2 rows, like one cut down and then another one right next to it, and then on each end I'll cut a little bit, and then I'm going to rip that piece out because that piece is going to actually sit over the hoop, and I'm going to hot glue it there, and that way it will be very secure on the hoop. You can see about how much I cut out there, and then you see how it fits nicely on the hoop. And so I'm going to now put some hot glue inside that pumpkin first. Then I'll put it back on the hoop the way I want it, and I'll let it dry just a little bit. And then I'm going to go back with some hot glue over the top and just make sure it's very secure. That way there won't be any openings for it to get loose by. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm not going to show you all the pumpkins because now you know how they're all going to be done the same way. I'm just going to randomly pick pumpkins in whatever order that I like, and there you can see I've done a little more than half. And in just a second here you'll see the whole thing finished, and that's what the back looks like. And I've got this cute little fall sign. It's made out of metal or tin from the Dollar Tree. I am literally just going to hot glue that right on top. And then I'm going to cut out some of these leaves from a leaf pick, and I'm going to get the sign on first. I just looked first to see where it would touch, and that's where I put the hot glue, and then I'm going to add some more in the back and just secure it. It's a very light wreath, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to put a little flower to cover the hole on that sign, and I'm going to add some little fall berries right in the middle of the raffia bow that was already there, and then a little sunflower on either side of that just to dress up the bow. Now, we could stop right here and it would be really pretty, but I did want to put some leaves on it, so I added a few to the bottom, and then I thought that's it, and I love it. Be sure to tell me what you think of this one. Crate hack. Got another one of these really pretty crates. I love all the different designs they have now. I'm going to take off the label. And then I'm going to be painting this one using that white off-white paint that I have. I'm going to paint the entire thing. And I did paint the inside as well on this one. Now again, we're going to use the back side. That pattern isn't really my style. I'm going to take a pencil and a straight edge, and I'm going to draw 2 lines and then kind of smear them with my finger, make it look like shiplap. It's a really easy way to do that. And then of course I will continue those lines around the sides as well. Now this can become a 2-sided crate because of the way that I'm doing it. You'll see here in a moment. You don't even have to get your fingers wet to do this. I used to think that it just makes it too messy. So just your own natural skin will just be, enough. I'm going to cut some lavender, and I'm going to wrap them together like a little swag. So I'm just going to kind of fix the leaves on them, and then I'm going to tie them together with a little bit of jute. I'm going to add a drop of hot glue to each end first, just to see if I can get them to stay in place, and then get the jute there and start wrapping it around. And I'm just going to wrap it around several times, tie a knot here and there, just to get it so that it's nice and thick. And that's the part that I will use to glue directly onto this crate. That'll make it much easier for it to stay. So I'll end it with a knot and then cut off the excess. I'm going to go ahead and put the hot glue where the knot was and place it right in the center of that crate. And that's it. So you could do both sides, one with the design, one with the lavender, whatever you want. And then I'm going to keep it in the bathroom and put a couple of my hair products that I like to use in there. I found this adorable grow magnet. I've got a piece left over from a Dollar General decor piece. It had a little chicken on it. And then I've got these eucalyptus plants faux plants that I got from Amazon. I'm going to take out the magnet, and we're not going to actually use it as a magnet this time. We're just going to attach it to the front of that adorable chicken wire sign. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to turn it over, place it right in the center where I want it, and then I'm going to start adding a ton of hot glue, and then I'll wait for it to dry. I'm also going to press down to make sure that it's making really good contact. And you'll see here I'm putting it at almost every possible intersection that there is back there. And now I'm pressing down just to make sure that it is really firmly attached to the back of that magnet. Now I'm going to pull apart little pieces from the eucalyptus pick, and I'm just going to put like 3 on each side, poking out from the back, and that you'll be able to see, like I come around the front, I attach it to the back so that it's not covering up the magnet, but it looks like it's coming from behind it, if that makes sense. And I did do 3 on each side, and then I took a little piece of white paper and covered up the back. I think this one is so cute. What I'm going to do to make sure that the little picks lay where I want them is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue behind one of the little leaves on each of the corner pieces and just push those down, and that way they kind of go up into the corners. And I just think that gives it a little better coverage. Otherwise it looks like they're just like whiskers coming out straight from the sides, and now they look like more distributed whiskers, I guess. Anyway, I think it looks super cute. So I like the way this has turned out. This is so easy. These magnet hacks are fast and easy. You can do these in no time at all. You'll have to let me know what you think. Floating shelf craft. I've got one floating shelf, and then I've got this little crate piece that I got at the Target Dollar Spot several years ago, and it came with like 3 different pieces, and this was the larger one. So you could find a crate at Hobby Lobby, lots of places. Anyway, especially when their wood is on 40% off. I'm going to take Fix-All and hot glue, and I'm going to attach this shelf to the very bottom of this crate. The crate becomes kind of like the backdrop of this floating shelf, and it almost creates like a sconce look in a way. So I'm just going to place that on the bottom there and hold it till it's nice and secure. Isn't that beautiful? You could paint if you wanted to the shelf. I chose not to. I loved the black against that wood. I'm going to take these boxwood picks that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put them on the bottom, like right where the shelf touches the crate, and then up on the very top. Now, I forgot to film the rest of this, so in the reveal, you will see all of it. But I did cover the top and then do that one section down below. And that's all I did, and this turned out just gorgeous. I hope you like it. You will definitely have to let me know what you think, and you can see how much I covered it here. This was so fast and easy, and I think it looks very high-end and beautiful. And I hope you like it, and let me know if this is something you would like to try.
Baby, let it come to you.
Awesomeness DIY. I've got this little metal pumpkin sign from Hobby Lobby. I got it last year on 40% off. And then I found these coasters at Goodwill. They were $2.99. You get 4 really nice pieces of wood. It doesn't matter that it says M on it because I'm going to cover that up. So I took one of those coasters and then I took my little pumpkin sign and I'm just going to hot glue it on each of the corrugated pieces that stick out the most and set it right on top of the coaster. That's it. All I'm going to do now is take some rope and I'm going to hot glue it on the back and make a little hanger. And then I'm going to take some ticking ribbon from Dollar Tree just to cover up where I glued on the rope. And that's it. What a nice way to dress up a little teeny piece of decor by just adding metal. Mixing wood and metal is such a cool look. I love that look. Very, very farmhouse. And how easy is this? It looks so much more expensive now. Let me know what you think. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. I've got this beautiful Love Never Fails magnet and a little place card setting that looks like a mini frame. They're both from Dollar Tree, of course. I'm just going to take off the wrapper from the magnet and the frame. Now I'm going to remove the backing also on that little frame because we're not going to use it as a stand-up frame, which it does have the ability to do that. So I'm just going to push the little clips back and actually end up removing them. We just don't need them at all. And I'll pull out the backing and the little piece of, I think it was glass, but it might have been plastic on this one actually. We're just going to use the basic part of the frame and we're going to set it over the top of the Love Never Fails. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to add the Fix-All and the hot glue on the corners and all the way around to make sure I've got a really good adherence. Now this one you could still put on a refrigerator or something metal if you wanted because the magnet will be exposed on the back. So I wanted to leave it that way. I have mine hanging on the refrigerator side. You know, the new refrigerators, you can't put them on the front because they're not really magnetic. It's like a coating that makes them look stainless steel. Anyway, so I'm going to also add some hot glue just around the edges there to, secure it because magnets are a little bit on the heavier side. Look how adorable this is. It was so easy. You could do this in like 3 minutes. Floating shelf craft. I'm going to take 2 of the floating shelves. And then I've got this metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I had just enough left to fit this. It was amazing. I'm also going to use some ribbon, which I'll show you in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 shelves and I'm going to put the 2 bottoms together. I'm going to use a combination of Fix-All adhesive and hot glue to glue this together. I love the look. It becomes almost a riser, but you could still use it as a floating shelf because of course the holes are still on the back. So it's a really nice flexible piece, but I think even as a riser this would be gorgeous. So again, I'm adding the combination of the 2 adhesives on here so this will hold really, really well. I'm going to place that piece right on top, make sure it's nice and even, and you can see here how it is attached. I'm going to first take this lace ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to glue it right over that seam. We want to get rid of the seam because there's no reason we need to see that. And this will poke through that metal ribbon. I've done this before and I think it looks so beautiful to see it poking through. And this creates a really pretty kind of a farmhouse look, which I think is so beautiful. But it also could go with other types of decor. So I think it's flexible enough. It's not like strictly farmhouse. So I'm just going to cut off the end and hot glue the pieces around the back. That way, they're nice and secure. Next, I'm going to take that metal ribbon. I love that metal ribbon. It is a little sharp, so you do have to be careful when you're handling it. And I'm just going to hot glue that on in several places and make sure it's very well adhered. I love how flexible it is, so you can bend it, straighten it, make it fit exactly the way you want, and that's a really nice thing about it. It's not easy to find, I got to be honest with, I have to travel around to a lot of Dollar Trees to find it, but if you ever do, grab it because it will come in handy, and then I've loved using it when I have. Look how beautiful that is to put that over the lace ribbon. Honestly, it just has such a nice look. Now, when we get to the 2 sides, there's a little excess there. And I did try to clip off as much as I could, but there's still little sharp pieces. So what I did was I pushed them down with the nippers. I just bent them over so that there's no sharp edges sticking out. So that's how I solved that problem. I could have, if my piece had been longer, I could have just wrapped it all the way around, but that's all I had left this time. Anyway, it worked out fine. It's not sharp on the edges anymore, and look how beautiful that is. Honestly, I love the versatility of this one. I think it's so pretty, and I'm so glad that I had enough of these to be able to put two together. Let me know what you think.
Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo.
And yet another super quick and easy Dollar Tree magnet hack. I've got this adorable magnet that says happiness is homemade, and then I've got a napkin holder from the Dollar Tree. And they're fine the way they are. They're just very basic and plain. So I thought we could dress this up just a little bit by gluing this magnet right on there. So I'm going to put a bunch of hot glue on the part that will touch the back of the magnet. And then I will turn it over and I will add even more glue on the back just to make sure it's nice and secure. Now, it didn't stick the first time, so I realized I hadn't put enough glue on. So I went ahead and I added even more, and that first layer of glue actually kind of raised that up a little and made it easier to attach. So that actually worked out. And then I'm going to add more glue to the back, and you could put like little florals all around it or whatever, something on the back. I chose not to. I thought I'd just keep it simple. I added in some napkins. That is it. This is so easy. This would be a fun one to do with the kiddos or grandkids because it's super easy and fast. And you know what? It just dressed up a very basic looking napkin holder. And why not? The whole thing was so inexpensive. It's totally worth it, and it took no time at all. Horrible little book stacks for the fall, and you could make any one you want or any combination, and that's kind of what I did. So I've got a little crate from the Dollar Tree that has those 3 planks, so it looks like there could be 3 books, and I'm using cashew, agave, and pumpkin colored Waverly chalk paint. And then I've got this gorgeous little burlap lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and then from burlapfabric.com they sent me that cute little ticking ribbon. I'll link that in the description box, and I have a discount code if you're interested in that. So I'm going to sand the whole little box down, make sure there's no little rough edges, and I'm going to use painter's tape to paint off the different colors and create the look of books. This is such an inexpensive way to do this without, having to go get 3 books, which you can at the Dollar Tree for $1 each, by the way. So I'm just going to paint each one of those sections a different color, and I love that combination of the pumpkin and the agave for the fall. That's kind of my accent colors, and then neutrals in between. I'm really loving that. Oh, and I also like the traditional colors from fall as well. So again, just taping off each section and painting so that way I have a definite distinction of the colors. I want them to look a little worn, so I'm going to go ahead and sand each of the stripes of the colors and then all around the edges and between the planks, because I want this to, like I said, look like it's been sitting around for quite a while and a little bit worn. I'm going to take the color Fawn by Waverly, and I'm just going to take a super small brush and get in between each of the colors all the way around and then wipe off the excess so it looks like they're actually books, and that shadow creates depth, like it goes deeper than just the surface. So that's what I'm trying to do. To write the words on the side, I guess I could have used my Cricut or some stickers, but I decided to write them. They kind of look like they were in that skinny font, that Ray Dunn look. I'm using a white Arteza paint marker to write the word cozy, and then I'll do the same for the word weather, and I'm using a brown Arteza paint marker to write the word sweater. Now, I am not a calligrapher, so I'm just doing my best looking at what they should look like, and I actually think they did turn out really cute, so I'm happy with it, and I wanted to have that kind of fun, cozy feel. That's what I was going for. I'm going to figure out how much ribbon I need to wrap it around the long way and make a bow, and then I'm going to cut that piece off, and then I'm going to cut an exact same length piece of the Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the Farmhouse ticking ribbon. That way I create a really interesting, cool looking ribbon, and then I'm going to tie that all the way around and make a bow, just a very simple bow, and I'm going to hot glue certain places down so it doesn't move around and it doesn't cover the words. And literally, that's it. That's how easy this one was. This was $13, and I did it for under $3. I hope you guys like this one as much as I do. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!